Welcome, Junior Takis. Welcome to question 4 of the exam questions for human reproduction. I have prepared 6 questions to practice, but before you do the exam questions, please make sure you watch my theory video as well as you have the worksheet and the memo printed. Right, let's get down to question 4. This is an overview of the question. Question 4 is a very important question and a very difficult question, so therefore I have chosen this question. And it's a very good way to ask reproduction as well in a different way. So contraceptives are used to prevent pregnancy. Some females use pills that contain progesterone in one packet. There would be 28 pills, of which 21 contain different concentrations of progesterone, as you can see here. So the woman will take the progesterone pills, and the first 21 tablets have progesterone. The last 7 have no progesterone. And a female will take one pill at the same time in the given sequence as shown. That's your introduction. Here's your graph below that shows the difference in progesterone levels of a woman during a menstrual cycle who is taking contraceptive pills and a woman who does not take contraceptive pills. So here you have, they talk about the progesterone pill and the menstrual cycle. Right. Let's look at the graph. The graph below shows the difference in the progesterone levels with the woman who is on the pill and one that's out without. 4.1. The estrogen levels between day 8 and 22. So let's look at day 8 and 22. Will remain low in a woman who takes the contraceptive pills. Explain why this is so. Now, the contraceptive we've been talking about is progesterone, but now they're asking about estrogen levels. And they're asking you why, for 4 marks, the estrogen levels are low. Now, this is something very important. You should have learned this, that high amounts of progesterone, high amounts of progesterone will inhibit FSH. And if it inhibits FSH, there'll be no follicle. And you are well aware that the follicle actually produces estrogen. So hence, no estrogen will be secreted. And that answers your question. Please make sure that you know 4.1. The question here talks about the negative feedback mechanism between progesterone and follicle stimulating hormone. And that's very, very, very important to know in your matric exam. All right, 4.2. Ovulation took place on day 14. All right, so there's it there. Took place on day 14 in the woman who does not use the contraceptive pills. Explain the evidence, and there's the evidence here. And this is progesterone levels, so explain the evidence. So we can see that the progesterone levels increase drastically after day 14. And how do you know that? Because after the 14th day, the corpus luteum formed. And what will the corpus luteum produce? Large amounts of progesterone. And that answers your question. 4.3. Suggest one reason for including the pills with no hormones in the contraceptive pill packet. So if we go back here, this is this here. These 7 tablets, why do they not have any progesterone? Now, one reason they want for 1 mark. Now, if there's no progesterone, there will be no progesterone to maintain the endometrium lining. So, of course, immediately after that, in that area, the woman will start to menstruate. And another possible reason is the pill has to be taken every day at the same time. And to include those tablets is to give the woman a habit, to create a habit in her so that she can take the pill and not forget it. I hope you learned a lot from this question. Thank you for joining me. Join me for all the other questions for human reproduction. Thank you.